Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, good luck, Americans, part three. We're going to keep rolling this because, as you know or don't know, the Federal Reserve, they had a meeting today and they said they're going to keep the rates the same. That has nothing to do with you, other than the fact that you might have a little bit of savings that still has interest that's accruing. But the bottom line is inflation is above 3%. They did nothing. They're supposed to raise the rate. Three of the Federal Reserve governors said, we want to raise the rate. The other nine said, no, we're not going to do it. Once again, they're not here to protect you. That means you need one thing only, and you need to get ownership. I'm staying on this. Every live stream, we got to talk about it. You're going to have to get ownership, meaning somebody's going to pay you. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information. And once again, it's detrimental. That's gonna happen. I hit the live stream. I hit my screen and everything, so things happen. I realized I had my drink on the counter, so I had to get my little drink with cranberry juice. And don't worry, it's not alcohol, even though I may sound like it's alcohol in a little bit, because once again, share the videos. Once again, the Federal Reserve does nothing with inflation over 3%. They sit on the sidelines trying to help nobody other than the rich people because they're the ones that are able to borrow with the Federal Reserve or these corporations, their interest only loans, so they can stay around 3.54%. You won't have that luxury. Therefore, they're hurting you. And there's a meltdown happening right underneath your feet. Homes are not being able to sell as fast as they used to in a lot of states. Not all, but a lot. It's going to keep going that route. And jobs are going to be lost. It's going to keep going that route. That's why the Federal Reserve needed to do one thing and one thing only a few months ago. We wouldn't be here right now if they would have already increased the rates like they were supposed to when it was 4.3, 4.4% inflation. That's what they normally would do. We're in the no man's zone at this point, and therefore you as a person that lives in the US are in no man's zone. You're going to have to protect your assets, protect your ass, because the bottom line to the story is this government has no intention of helping American citizens or people on this American soil. So therefore, you're going to have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And you know, it's harder for those people that have been comfortable for so long. People that are out here that are always pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, they're going to be all right. They're used to not having things. But those people that are not used to having things, that never have a problem, all of a sudden, that's going to change lives. That's going to change people's demeanor. I was going to say, but never mind what I was going to say, but their demeanor. So you never know what's going to happen. And what you're going to have to do is get your ownership papers. And I'm not talking about it's really papers. What we're talking about is making sure in order for you to survive, you're going to have to own something that is on autopilot, meaning when somebody uses your service, uses whatever you have a monthly or reoccurring monthly membership or a reoccurring annual memberships. That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to branch off into owning something. Look, we can do ebooks here. I'm thinking about it. Once I released, I still haven't released the new website. Like I said, the new website has me. AI built it based on this YouTube channel. So I got to give them credit. And what can I say? They formulated it. I didn't tell it what to do, except I put in the prompt saying the YouTube channel, Stop Struggling Now, is the website and the YouTube. Go there, get information, and then come back and build me a site that you think would represent what we talk about. And like I've said, if you've been here, there's been several things that occurred. First, they started with the 12-week course, charging $487. Now, I don't know why it was $487, but that's what's on the homepage. I'm going to release this because I think it's fascinating that I should be charging for this information. So that was the first thing I believe it was. And it's being built by, I'll just give them credit. I don't have anything to do with them, but Arrow. All right, I'll give them credit. AIRO, it's a GoDaddy thing. And it built a beautiful website, new logo type thing for Stop Struggling Now and everything. I was like, that's pretty cool. And it gives it a little premium quality, so AI's on top of it. So after the 12-week course for $487, which is actually videos, so I was like, I didn't even know what it was. So I went in and AI prompt, and I said, hey, why do you have these 12-week course videos? I don't have videos for that. Of course, then I was like, well, I do actually have videos for that, but they're free and they're on podcast as well. But again, it set it up based on what they saw, because we always talk about business, because we talk about ownership, we talk about trust, wills, trademarks, do all this stuff. So all of a sudden, it built accordingly on what I'm doing here. So I find this very, very fascinating since I've been sitting here for 6 years. Free with a Q&A. You can actually ask questions. And they're like, hold up. You should be charging for this, and not cheap stuff either. Not $97, not $47, but they get to that. The next one I believe was $97. And that was for some other 4-week course or something, or 4-week videos or whatever it was. Then they had some for $97 a month. Now, mind you, these are a month, except for the first one. The first one's a 12-week course for $487, I believe it was. And then when the other ones are per month. I found that fascinating because that's ownership. That's how you get memberships. And by the way, I'm on YouTube or on Twitch, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere. They have memberships there. You can sign up because we don't get monetized in a lot of locations. We don't have a lot of views in a lot of locations, any location. And so that is the funny part about social media. We're all over the place, but nowhere do we get thousands of views when we drop. Nowhere on all these platforms. There's at least 7, 8, 9, 10 platforms. Just 10, 20, 100, 150, 200. That's about it. So you need to share the video. Let's get down with the ownership because it's going to be the same thing, but you got to do the one thing first. Make sure you do. We started 2 years, 7 months ago. A 3-year countdown. 3 requirements. It's very simple. It was very easy, in my opinion. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry to get into real estate outside of the United States or start a business outside of the United States. outside the United States and the U.S. territory. So officially international, okay? Companies, you start an international company or you get international real estate. Why? Because that's a business opportunity, because now you can make money outside the United States. Second thing, if you're making money outside the United States, it's in a different currency, so you need to open up a bank account so people can pay you or you can pay them. So that was the other requirement. Get a bank account outside the United States, outside the U.S. jurisdiction. That's why. And lastly, a 775 credit score, because those of you who do have the credit scores right now at 775 or 750 or 745, you didn't really need to get there, but you're going to have the 18 to 24 month 0% interest credit cards coming to your door as well. And that's going to go a long way if it's truly 0% or 99.5% of it. So you're only paying 0.5%, even if it's that annual fee, maybe 0% for 2 years goes a long way. Knowing that anything you charge, at least if you're part of the 8 out of 10 people that are living paycheck to paycheck these days, being able to say, okay, I buy something today. Yes, it's on credit, but at least 99.9% of it goes towards your balance for the next 24 months. So that makes it a lot easier than having the other cards that have 15, 20, 25, or even some people have 33, 35% interest. You'll never be able to pay that off. So if you don't pay, then your credit gets screwed. So either way, you're in the matrix. So you might as well just pay down your debt best you can, get your score close to 775, and enjoy the perks. Because the Federal Reserve, that's who they're helping. You. So we started it 2 years, 7 months ago. The end date was 3 years at the time. So that means December 31st, 2026 is the end date. Right on schedule. The other part to the story, we have a new schedule that just came out about a month ago, and that is December 31st, 2027. You need your ownership papers because the Federal Reserve's not coming to save you. You better be the CEO of your life right now. Yes, you can get this gear, but not right now at StopStrugglingNow.com. You can't get it there. You'll be able to get it when I launch the website. And in fact, I don't even know what I'm waiting for. It's just sitting there. The Stop Struggling Now website has been hacked and jacked. And actually, I could have just put it up anyhow. There's no reason for me not to. In fact, I might even do it while we're chit-chatting right now. Because that is the whole thing right there. EV Place is in the house. Another investor is here. He did the 3-year plan. He's well ahead of schedule. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And I was saying Wednesday night live stream on Monday night live stream because I was in the lab. Not really in the lab. I was doing security stuff for my dad. I lost complete track of days because, I have nowhere to be. There's no schedule. So I didn't even realize it was Monday, and I'm saying it was Wednesday. Now it's Wednesday, and I'm happy to see EV Place in the house. He has that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And you know what that means? That means he actually helps financially. Everybody that has that icon means they're a member of the channel. Did you not hear me? Here on YouTube. So, EV Place, once again, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline, good evening, SSN family. I hope you all are doing well. We're doing much better. That's for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, EV Place is here. And we got more to talk about. Make sure you smash the like buttons. I checked the emails just in case Brian P. comes in a little bit later and he hears this. No email from Brian P. He has the recall emails that I talk about because we got to do PSAs, ladies and gentlemen. And so now I have to go down here just to make sure, because I did look earlier. And this isn't major right here, but for you, some of you may have dual citizenship. You're going to have to self-identify on tax returns. They're considering this. Man, oh man, talk about a police state or whatever kind of state these guys out here are trying to do with this present government situation in the United States. This is bad. This is not good for you, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Not good. Not good, because how many Americans have dual citizenship? When you really think about it, there should be a lot. People come from overseas, they're refugees, they're immigrants. I don't understand. So, I mean, it's potentially you're going to have dual citizens living here. And now the guys here now want to pull up the ladder because their grandparents, or shall I say great grandparents, came before 1920s when there was no immigration. And now they're acting like, oh, we got to make sure everybody's got to check in. Not just write down on a piece of paper like we go through Ellis Island and say, my name is whatever I want to make up, and I'm here to work. Sign in, date, I'm here. There's no immigration office to go check in at. So that's what their great great grandparents were able to do, just show up. And what's even worse, when United States in the late 1800s, or yeah, I'd stick with in the 1800s, when Mexico owned Texas, but they said, hey, Texas, well, at the time, we'll let you guys have this own little land over here. But that was Mexico, as so was the whole West Coast, pretty much. So what's very interesting is the Mexican people lived on the West Coast, which is California, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, and all that stuff, right? That was Mexico. United States bought the land. You know what the United States does? That they always do. We have an agreement, Mexico. Any of your Mexican citizens that want to become United States citizens, no problem. They're already on the land. That's right. You hear me? So it's very interesting that later on down the line, United States does what they always do, renege on their agreements. So then they started deporting Mexican citizens to Mexico. And even after those Mexican citizens and their kids lived here for 20, 30, 40 years. Does that sound familiar? We're doing it again, except now it's called ICE and putting them in concentration camps, getting little girls pregnant. That's right, in the concentration camp by ICE agents, girls only, under 15, 16, 17. That's right, you heard me. Talk about diabolical. And some of you guys are out here protecting these assholes, pedo, rapist protectors. Again, I might go off tonight. Be very careful out here. I got the chat room open on all platforms. You guys can join in the conversation, but don't worry, it might get heated up in here. Divine Transit, I see you. Spell in the house. Very happy to see you, man. Oh, Spell, I got to tell you, man, I had to delay the program that we were talking about. Robert Speller, ladies and gentlemen, go see him at Turner Accounting Technologies on LinkedIn. He's an accountant in the Bay Area. That's California. I'm a California kid. When I say Bay Area, I'm thinking I don't really care about Tampa Bay Area. Let's get real. Who's talking about that? Bay Area means the Bay Area in California, San Francisco, Oakland, Palo Alto, and all that stuff. Bay Area. That's what we're talking about. There is no other. But anyhow, go see him on LinkedIn if you need an accountant, business, personal. He can handle it. Big time. He's in the you know where, Silicon Valley area. So go check him out on LinkedIn. Or if you're on Instagram, you can hit him up too. Just saying. All right, let's go. Uh, by the way, just so you know, Spell, if you're still watching, I'm going to send you over something in about probably 2 weeks because things changed dramatically. I got to figure something out, but I can't do anything yet. But I'm still going to get things in order because it's going to happen eventually anyhow. But it's 15, I think it's 15 subsidiaries. Yeah, I know it's going to be off the charts, man. It's 15 subsidiaries. Uh, so that just gives you an idea on why I didn't send something over. Originally, it wasn't that many. I mean, it was still 9, but now it's going to be 15. Just so you know. All right, man. So I'll see. Hopefully, I'll have everything done before our class reunion as well, which I know you'll be there. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, high school class reunion. That's how long I known this young man. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Go get your accounting needs over there. Now, let's get back into the situation at hand. So, let's get into something else because here's the funny part that is why you need ownership. Because if you don't have a way to make your own money and you don't have a way to make it passively or make a brand scenario, remember, everybody's going to have AI now. So, that difference between people who, let's just say, went to school, specialized school, went to trades or specialized training, they're no longer going to be this far ahead. The people that are down here can now move up because of AI, because now they can get the information fast. Can they implement it as good as somebody that's actually doing it? The answer is traditionally hell no. But the fact of the matter is, they have knowledge that they didn't have to spend time, energy, and effort learning. And I'll give you guys an example because I used to play professional poker. And when I first started, I played online, I played offline. And this is in the early 2000s. But online became a thing. And so all these new people joined up and they started playing because it was relatively easy. You can just open up your laptop, tablets, desktops, and start playing poker. And therefore, you had a bunch of newbies who really didn't know how to play, but they knew how to play a little bit. They play home games, but they're pretty good for their home game. But then now you have people that have played for years, people that have learned the game differently. So they're behind the curve in reality when they play with us. So we're far ahead at the time. But then you fast forward about 5 years later, those people that was playing in 2003, 2004, 2005, they got better. So that margin of difference between them and us shrunk like this. And it plays out with money. So when I sat there and I was usually at 60 to 65% win rate, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, all of a sudden it's like 40 something, which is still good. But see, there's a marked difference from 66, 65, 60% win rate versus 45, which is still good. But then the following year, it dipped into the 30s. That wasn't good. I mean, it's still good, but it's still not good. Especially when it's double that for the 3 years. All these people caught up. Which is now why we have the situation currently, because if people play poker, they might have started. Some of the guys I see on TV, they've been playing for 20 plus years. I have a video on here when we're at the Playboy Mansion for a celebrity tournament. The 2006 World Series of Poker player Jeff Madsen is playing, right? So here's the funny part. I saw some World Series of Pokers that happened this year in 2026. Back then, he was probably, I would have to guess, like 20, 21, something like that. I would guess. He had to be somewhere in his early 20s. He's still playing. It's 20 years later. Now, he's good. He's very good. But again, this is what happens when you're in business. Your competition is trying to kick your ass every day. And sooner or later, your competition gets better. And if you don't figure out a way to make yourself better, or your company or corporation or whatever you do better, that means competition catches up. And now you're not that far ahead. That's why you need ownership into something. Brian P., Mr. Dividend is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation. Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Happy day, Eric. I hope all is well with you and your family. Happy day, SSN family. That's right. Happy day, everybody out here. Hopefully everything's going well. Brian P., I did check the emails and nothing came up. So I figured I'm good for the PSA for the moment. And he said he smashed that like button. That's right. Everybody out here smash that like button. So the YouTube, the iHearts, the podcast channels know we're in the house. All right. And once again, everybody that's out here, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Who's listening and watching from all over the world. All right. I got a lot of things to talk about, which I can't actually even talk about it because you guys know on the month, which was Wednesday night live stream that I was telling everybody, you guys didn't even tell me I was saying it was Wednesday when it was Monday. But anyhow, on the Money Making Monday live stream, you guys realize we started talking about Larimar and all that stuff. Well, it's about to get a little dicey up in here because I'm officially once again on trying to get the refund. So we're going to find out how that's all going to play out. But I just want to tell everybody, Larimar's not what it was 4 years ago. They have, because they have 9 hotels or 8, but either way, they got 2 hotels on the 18-hole golf course. That wasn't supposed to be there because it was supposed to be separated between residential and the Farallon was supposed to be where hotels were. They're still going to have 6 hotels on the Farallon where Horizon 1 used to be, or I don't know which one was 1 or 2, but anyhow, there was going to be 2 Horizon View condos. There's going to be Horizon View 1, Horizon View 2. They took one of them out, so we'll call it Horizon View 2 is gone. Right next to Horizon 1, they're putting a frickin' hotel. That was supposed to be residential, and now they're putting a frickin' hotel there. That changes the whole dynamics of residential in one location, and then you go across a line, and that's where the tourists stay. Now tourists are staying in the residential zone. I don't even know how they're able to get this mixed use type of deal because usually you can't have residential right next to commercial. Just saying. Not right next to it on the same little street. That's unusual unless you have a barrier. So I don't know what the hell's going on. They haven't started building yet, but I'm just letting you know. All right, let's get back to it because this is ownership talk, ladies and gentlemen. All the owners who purchased there, you guys may not like. They have, let me give you something else too. I was going to do short-term rentals, but that was based on they were going to have 6 5-star hotels on the Farallon. This is business, short-term rental business. 6 5-star hotels on the Farallon. Beautiful. I'm going to have a Hyatt out here. We're going to have a Marriott out here. Who else? Nobu, come on down. Any 5-star, 5-star, 4 seasons maybe. Who knows? 5-star? We're good with 5 stars. 5 stars usually mean, hey, you're going to pay 3, 4, 5, 6, 700, $1,000 per night or more. Bungalows over villas, that's typically $1,000 a night wherever you stay. Just like the 5 stars, 500 to 1,000 per night is norm. So that gives you upscale luxury-esque type of clientele. Thus the golf course. Okay, goes hand in hand. But what happens when you don't put 5-star hotels in the location? And you decide to put in hotels that are, let's call them generously, 3-star to 4-star, 3-star to 3.5 star. How about they only have 0 or 1 international hotel on the planet? I don't really want an unproven 3.5, 2.5 to 3.5 star rated hotel in the United States talking about they're going to be on the Farallon where 5-star hotels used to be. And they're going to know anything about 5 star when they've never done it. None of their properties are 5 star hotels. I'm like, this is a disaster waiting to happen, in my opinion. But this is ownership. If you own there, what are you going to do? You're going to stay in or you're going to bail out? I'm trying to bail out like I've been telling you for over 2 years. All right? They just don't want to give back the funds because it's very, very hard to get new customers these days. So that's what we're dealing with. Check out your emails. Uh-oh, he sent me something. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. That means it's PSA time, and we are here for it. Let's see. No emails. Are we blocked or something? Or are they going to, maybe something happened. Are they going to, no, they're not going here. That's weird. Are they blocking you? Blocking us? What's happening? No new emails, man. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Nope, no new emails. Nothing has come. Looks like you're on the out list, apparently. That's crazy. All right. We'll find out if there's going to be some, ladies and gentlemen. But I just want to let you know ownership is hard. You can't just, when we're talking about hand to hand, like when we're doing short term rentals, now we have to deal with the market. They are designing a market that wasn't supposed to be there. We weren't supposed to have 9 hotels on property. We weren't supposed to have 4 condo hotel towers built inside. Paradise Tower 2 is supposed to be a condo hotel. Aston, another 3 star holder. They're going to do their own condo hotel. They're going to make 3 17-story towers. So now you got 4. And by the way, this is just first phase. Basically, you know this for first phase. The second, third, and I think there's 4 phases now. Those phases, they haven't even started. And I have a funny feeling that there's going to be some more condo hotels to now make it untenable. Because if you have 3-star properties, which you can't rent, and by the way, anybody that's in DR listening to this right now, I highly suggest you go to Reserva Real next to Cocatel. Cocatel's like a 4-5 star location where they have nice homes, nice condos, gated community. They're on the other side of it, but Reserva Real's not gated. I believe it's by the brand Harper, which is what Paradise Towers is going to be under Harper. They are right there at the turnoff to go to the Jellyfish Beach Club, which is probably about 100 yards to 150 yards down because it's walking distance. And the Noval Beach Club is right also in that same neighborhood, but still, that's restaurant, bars, and drinking and eating beer at the beach. That's in Los Corrales. And the problem is they have units that they rent there right now. You can probably get a unit for $70 to $75 per night. That's right. And that's 100 to 150 yards to the beach. Larimar is like, I guess, 10 kilometers from where that is. Nowhere near a beach. The beaches at Larimar, if they're going to be that, they're going to be man-made. So it's kind of like the beach that's downtown, man-made. The beach at Vista Cana, man-made. It's not like you have a flurry of people going and running to get it to these man-made beaches. So it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen when you have subpar 3.5 stars. I'll give them 3.5 because I'm not expecting them to do anything crazy. But anyhow, this is what you have to determine and what's going on out here. Federal Reserve's not helping you. Federal Reserve helps you when they actually make inflation go down. They don't help you by leaving their federal funds rate the same. They're only helping their friends, the corporations, because they can loan at 3.75. But you try and go out here and get a mortgage. You will not get a mortgage for 3.75. Otherwise, there would be homes for sale. I mean, home buyers. That's what I should say. Homes are already for sale. People are trying to get out, but they're not going to be successful in a lot of places. Some places you will, a lot of places you won't. Just remember that. So when we start talking about ownership, Federal Reserve, you better start owning something. And that is December 31st, 2027. You're going to need it. So ownership is in several different forms. What are those forms? Well, you can start, I'll just start with a business. That's high risk. So now you're going to have to figure out, are you going to be a service business? Are you going to be a business where you're going to have to order it from somebody else? And then therefore their prices are going to dictate how much you can charge? Or that person or company or corporation could say, hey, we're out of business now. And so therefore you can't get your inventory that you need, the products that you need. See, that's where this goes. You're going to have to start controlling more than just one thing. You can't go, I'm just going to have the LLC and that's it, because I can order it wholesale from X, Y, and Z corporations. X, Y, and Z corporations may be out of business. So you better start figuring out ownership of the pipelines, ownership of getting this actual products and services that you sell. If you don't own that, you're going to be in trouble. That's where this is all going, ladies and gentlemen. You already have 80% of you watching this living paycheck to paycheck. There's a reason. And there's also a reason why you're living paycheck to paycheck, because your bosses are not going to be able to give you any 20% raise. That's why. Because they are under stressful situations. Things are changing too rapidly. The cost of gas too rapidly. The transportation cost, because of the cost of oil and gas and services of that nature, goes up. And now on delivery, it automatically costs more. That means you have to charge more. And that also means the more you charge isn't based on profit. It's based on what you have to pay. So even though you may make more money, that doesn't mean your employees get more money. It doesn't mean you get more money. It just means you have higher risk now, because now your prices have to be higher and you got to hope you get customers. That's why if you're going to do something, ownership where you can license it, lease it, as an example, that's what you're going to need by December 31st, 2027. It's very simple when you really think about it. But what are some of these things? We've talked about it before. I mean, you have websites. Yes, website is real estate. You can own that. Yes, we've talked about uh, audio books, writing books, because AI can help you out these days. But you still want to write it yourself, just so you know. So then you can copyright it and say it's not by AI. Because if you say it's by AI, then anybody can copy it, just letting you know. And even if they find out it's AI, that's another thing, because there's going to be metadata now coming out where they're going to be able to tell if it's AI. And if it's AI, then anybody can copy it, which is what's happening right now with books. People are creating books with AI, putting them on Amazon, doing all this. Then they come in and people just copy it. They tell AI, copy that book. And then they put it right beside the actual real original book. And they're putting it right beside it, charging a little bit less. That's right. It's happening just like that within hours, because basically they're just scraping the book. So when they put a book on Amazon, let's say, AI says, they just say, hey, I want to copy, just tell AI, copy this book. It copies it. You can say, make a little twist, but for the most part, it's the same thing. And then you can put it right on a digital platform and sell it just like if it was yours. That's what people are out here doing right now. I'm not saying do that, though. I do not condone that. I'm going to tell you right now. The reason I don't condone any of that is because ownership is what's going to matter ultimately. Who has the copyright to these works? Because ultimately what is going to happen is that person's going to do a cease and desist, contact Amazon, for instance, let's say. Amazon's going to withhold any sales of the book from the other person. That's all that's going to happen. So now all the sales that you did before it gets distributed is going to actually go to the rightful owner. That's why you want ownership. Because no matter what happens, it ultimately is going to boil down to that. Because do you really think $100 million corporations out here who have copyrighted works. They are the ones that own the books because they purchased the copyright, they purchased the publishing, they purchased all of that. So do you really think these 100, 200, $500 million companies are going to sit there on the sidelines and allow somebody to copy a book that they paid, let's just say $50 million for the rights to a whole publishing category of books, and all of a sudden people are using AI? You think they're going to sit there on the sidelines and be like, yeah, 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 we're not going to do nothing. Everything's going to be fine. Just copy our works and post up something that matches our work and keep the money? Now it's all shared and split. That would be like the Amazon program. Why I can't rock with Amazon. We'll talk about that in a second. But Brian P., FDA announces recalls on ice cream products in 6 states. God dog it. Man, I just can't live these days. Brian P. giving me some bad news. I can't live these days. I just went down to Kroger, right? And I'm sitting there at Kroger. Smith's, Kroger's are all the same. And I'm sitting there like, 1.99 for a half a gallon. I think it's a half a gallon, not a gallon, but whatever it is. It says, I didn't get your email. You must be blocked. That's weird. Um, so I'm sitting there and I just got some ice cream. Just for the hell of it. I normally don't even get ice cream. I was just like, hold on, since I got some ice cream, let me get some ice cream and cake. Red velvet cake with cheese cream frosting, cheese cream in the middle. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Let me get, you know what? I might as well just go off the rails. All right. I work out a little bit, not enough anymore, but I work out a little bit. So it's all good. I'll work it off, do whatever. I need to do some flexing and stuff anyhow. So why not? So I went off the rails. I go, let me get some of this cake. Let me get some ice cream because I rarely do that. And that's what I did. Now he tells me there's a recall. I know there's a specialty drinks in 25 states recall due to salmonella concerns that you were kind enough to send over a few days ago. But apparently, some reason you're blocked right now. SKS Copac has recalled a variety of chili drinks sold online and in restaurants in 20 states. You know what I don't like is when they don't name what the brand is straight off the top. The California-based company said products were distributed to the following states, 25 states: California, Utah, Indiana, New York, New Jersey, Arizona, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Texas, Ohio, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Illinois, Oklahoma, Massachusetts, Washington, Oregon, Wisconsin, Nevada. Called, oh no, matcha green tea, Angel Specialty Products, matcha green tea 4 and number 3. Products, Taro, never heard of it. Caramel latte by in coconut, horchata, Jesus. uh, royal gold, French vanilla, Barrow, pistachio powder, boba time, coconut powder, boba time, Italian yogurt powder. Uh-oh. You guys, I got to put this down below. I better put this down below. You guys better, because this is not good at all. Oh my, this is terrible. Because I don't know these foods, but that could mean you don't know these foods, and half of the country has has access to this stuff. So no matter where you are, what happened? I don't even know where my, oh, I lost it. That's what happened. Okay. Yeah, let me in him. I live. I see you. Thank you so much for being in the house. I'm posting this up. You guys can have a link to all of the locations about this salmonella. This is crazy with these specialty drinks. This is what I told. Did we not talk about this like 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago? Yes, we did. Remember? Because Trump was in office the other time, and we said what's going to happen with this deregulation. And Biden didn't turn around and actually fulfill all of the places of the thousands of inspectors and people that protect us and the FDA and the USDA and all this stuff. He didn't make it a mandate. But again, the mandate at the time when he took over was COVID. So it's understandable for a year or two, but then did not get a second run. So therefore, we have deregulation. And now we have what always happens when you have deregulation: fallout. And that means people are going to get sick, people are going to die. That's all there is to it. You got to deal with facts, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be out here going, oh, yeah, it's all right. We deregulate because corporations get to pay less money because they don't have to make sure people are safe. Yeah, what could go wrong? Well, this is what's going wrong right now. We talked about it. You knew it. So that's why we talk about health is wealth. You better own that too. That's ownership as well. If you don't own that, you're going to be in deep trouble, because America has this belief that you should pay a handsome price for your health care. So since they have that mindset, you should not want to be anywhere near a hospital. And that is ownership as well. You got to own your health. You can't sit out there and go let me give you an example. What people overweight will say. Things that people overweight say. I'm big boned. That's one of the favorites, right? It runs in my family. I'm like, this is crazy. This is real crazy. Because, when you look at a skeleton, you can't really tell how much a person weighed when they were alive. Just saying. So these things always making excuses like you can't fix your health. Yes, you can. God put plants on this globe we're in, on the planet Earth, and there's so many plants that could help you out naturally. But the problem is, now you have to make sure that whatever you're intaking that's naturally, maybe the ground has bad chemicals in it, which by default means it's in the plants or vegetables. So that's the thing that you have to really pay attention to. You got to invest in your health now, right? Right. You want to be, how do you want to be when you're 55 or 60? Or in some cases, what's happening right now, people are getting so sick. I mean, people have prostate cancer in their 20s and 30s, cancer in their 20s and 30s. This is crazy what's happening out here. Because we live in a toxic environment and our government doesn't care. Just remember, we have banned products from around the world in our food. You take our food, it's not in other countries. We have over 80 what do I want to say? What is it? It's like, like red dye number 5 or whatever they call it, right? You have these type of chemicals inside of our food. 80 of them are banned. 80 different chemicals is banned. So therefore, United States companies make things in their country, it tastes different because they don't have the bad chemicals in it. Just saying, all right? This is what we're dealing with out here. This is what happens when you live in a third world country. And then it's even worse when you have a third world country and the Federal Reserve don't even want to do the right thing. With their target rate is supposed to be 2%. And they don't care now that you can have a 3.4, 3.5% inflation number year over year. Since when? That means it's game over, ladies and gentlemen. So you understand. Game's over. It's already been over. It's already been decided. You live in a third world country, you just don't know it yet. Actually, you do know it, but you're in denial. Because we don't have universal health care like the other top 32 countries. Or shall I say all the NATO countries has universal health care of some sort, but not us. That kind of thing. The food coming in from the United States, no thank you. That kind of stuff. You know it's bad when countries are saying we can't accept your meats, we can't accept your food products. Sorry, get on board or we can't do business. And now you have farmers, you have businesses that rely on global economy. They can't do business. So what do? They get bailouts from you, taxpayers. Taxpayer money going to bailouts for something that was done because of these guys that are in charge right now. Bad for you, ladies and gentlemen. So just be careful out here because I'm not getting the emails for some strange reason. We only got that one. Yeah, I'm not getting what's going on. Okay, maybe I'm going to do something else. Let me do something else just in case. All right, let's get down to the ownership aspects because that's what this is. After the Federal Reserve does the wrong thing, this is just shocking that they're letting this run. That means inflation is going to keep going. All right, they're not trying to quell it at all. They're not trying to stop it. That means the price, yesterday's price, is not going to be next month's price. Just so you understand. What are you doing to prepare for that? Are you listening? Can you hear me? Because you need ownership where you can put something somewhere and make money from somebody buying it or leasing it, renting it, annual memberships or payments, something. You'll need this passively. That's what you're going to need out here for the deadline, December 31st, 2027. That's what you're going to need. EV Place knows what I'm talking about. He's got a new project that he's working on that's awesome. Actually, awesome. I'm not going to say what it is until he says what it is, but it's awesome. All right, it's revolutionary. Burritos distributed. Hold on. What happened? Distributed by Costco. Oh, this is the second time recalled for undeclared allergen. See, ladies and gentlemen, even Costco now, this is about the third or fourth in the last year where they've had to have recalls. This is what we talked about 4 or 5 years ago. I told you guys this is going to happen, and it's going to happen every time you have the GOP party that says we don't care about regulation on the food supply and water and soil. What's going to go wrong is this. It's going to keep happening. And right now we got worms. The screw worms are in food. If you ingest that, that's going to be bad for you. You're going to probably tiptoe with death because you're going to be on the edge if you actually have to eat this stuff, the meat, and it's out there. Just remember the meat you eat, that's something as well. So again, ladies and gentlemen, don't be out here playing around. You're going to have to check your food sources. That's what it is. Let me see. I got to do something right now. Okay, let's stop this. So, one other thing, I guess I should talk about it because it is a thing. Even though I can't really say I would recommend doing this, but the stock market is going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. So ownership means, are you going to own a way that you can make money via the stock market since it's 24 hours a day? Pretty much you can do Asian market probably, right now. You can do London market like in an hour or two. It should be opening up for you. So you can actually do stock market trading, which means if you know how to do that, that's ownership. But again, it takes your time. It's not passive. You have to interact. But of course, you can always do the next best thing. You can actually sell courses for stock trading, sell books for stock trading. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you'll see down below where there's books that you could buy. Wealth books, AI wealth books, real estate, those kind of things. Make it nice and easy for you. Don't make it too hard. All right? So, but we have one other thing though that I like to talk about, and I've been talking about it. But again, this is high risk, high rewards. This is not for the faint at heart, just so you understand. This is 90%, 95% of people take L's. Let's just get real. You're going to take L's. All right? Just keep that in mind. That's what it is. So, we got ebooks, we got all kind of stuff. How about some wealth? You know what wealth really is? Wealth is when you basically have assets. that pay you while you're doing anything else. You're not working for it. Just so you know that. But let's get back to the trading because you need the Candlestick Trading Bible, which you can still get um, using the link. Because, like I said, actually, you know what? Like, come back on Friday night. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to release, because I'm probably going to erase it, but I'm probably going to release this new this AI website, and I want to see what actually happens. Why is this doing this? Well, I want to see what's actually happening because it's going to be awfully cool. It's going to be cool to see, and I want to know what you guys think. So I'm going to release it. It'll be up on Friday, and it was going to be made completely by AI. I haven't really tweaked it in months because we were working on something else at the time, but I figured I might as well. I've talked about it, and I want to see what it looks like. And what's going to even be funnier, I don't even know how it's hooked up, if it's hooked up to take payments, but it's going to be even funnier if somebody actually makes a payment, right? Because it's going to be live. It's going to be funny. And I'm going to have to refund their money because there is no courses. There's nothing. But I want to see what's going to happen. It's going to be very, very interesting. And they actually made videos for me. Just keep that in mind. So the Candlestick Trading Bible is going to be in the chat room. It's going to be available to everybody. So there's no excuses. Do what you got to do. All right? If you want to learn, this is why you get the Candlestick Trading Bible. You make it easy for yourself. You don't have to do anything crazy. Right? Just learn. Fasita. Isn't that right, Fasita? I see you. Thank you so much for being in the house on another platform. I appreciate it. But the Candlestick Trading Bible's there. And without that, the Candlestick Trading Bible's good. But there's a lot of people who've never traded, so you've never seen a demo account. You can get a demo account. You can go to TradingView. You can get a demo account. The reason I say TradingView is because that's pretty easy to do. But if you want also a demo account, the one I like is CoinEx. Why CoinEx? Because it's very simple. CoinEx does not use a United States bank account. They're not regulated by the United States either. And you can upload crypto so your money's available immediately. And you can download crypto outside of the United States. It's a beautiful thing. Okay? Just so you know. That's what I like about it. Basically, a broke country should not be holding people's money. That's just my point of view. Shouldn't be holding people's money because you're 40 plus trillion dollars in debt. So here's the CoinEx link because that's part ownership as well. But we're going to get into a few other things, all right? By the way, just so everybody understands, Johan Confidante, he will probably be on in a week or so. And we're going to talk about residency. That's in the Dominican Republic. So anybody who has property in the DR, who may even want residency in the DR, I suggest you be on the call. So that means you should subscribe to the channel, click the all notification bell, no matter where you're watching from, or click the heart or click the star, or wherever you're watching from. You don't want to miss it because he's here live. You can ask your questions live. And of course, he usually has something like a 10 to 15 minute free consultation now. He usually does that. So you can actually talk to him at no charge on yours and his dime. So that's going to come up, and that's going to be residency. And there's several different ways. We've talked about this before. You can actually hold on a minute, I missed something. You can actually, oh, I did do it already. Okay. You can actually, retirement. I might have put this twice for CoinEx. You can actually do retirement. There's a retirement residency. There's a business residency. There's all kind. Uh, a person. There we go. Mr. Compensations in the house. There he is. That's what the name is, ladies and gentlemen. Red 40, yellow 5. There you go. Red dye 40, yellow number 5. Red number 40 with yellow number 5. That's right. You'll see it on the back of all kind of candies. That stuff is not good for you, ladies and gentlemen. Causes cancer, which you know what cancer is. It's a tumor, and it can go throughout your body, and then it manifests into some other form of cancer. That's why you don't want that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, welcome, Mr. Compensation, to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And everybody, go show some love for Mr. Compensation on his channel, because you know he's been a long time friend, long time listener, long time man of the people. So go check him out. Business, that's the guy. Conversation, that's the guy. This guy's got so much in his brain, he could come out with all, you know what? Speaking of ownership, Mr. Compensation, you should be writing a book, man. Let's go. I'm just saying. Put it on the platforms. Put it on the platforms, man. Let's do it. All right. Yes, sir. There we go, man. That's what I'm talking about. Popular little shortbread cookies recalled. See affected products. Oh my goodness, man. This is getting out of hand. Here we go. Wait, what's this? Oh, I put it up. I was going to say, nobody can put links in the chat room, just so you guys know. This is why Brian P sends me a link, because I had to do that because we had people spamming and doing certain things. So I just figured I'll just shut it down where they can't put links in. And that's why he can't leave a link in the chat room. And for some reason, I'm not getting anything. Hold on a second. Maybe I am. Ah, finally. Finally. I got the shortbread. Uh-oh. I got something else too. I saw black colleges down there. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. I don't want to see black colleges down there. On your list. I can go to the recall for the little, I guess it's LIDL. I've never heard of this, but then again, I don't really eat that stuff that often. Well, I don't eat shortbread cookies, so Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Hopefully you can hear me now. You know what's messed up? Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm on the screen. All of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, we've started to have something different. Conversation, ownership, good luck, Americans. 1, 2, and 3, part 4 is coming up Friday. I'll talk about something else. But the point is, I find this very, very interesting. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I noticed I had a drop in people watching. No audio, no sound. That's crazy. Uh-oh, hold on. I'm showing audio. I'm showing on my end. The only reason I know something's weird is because I'm on another platform looking and there's nothing happening. No audio, no nothing. But I finally got back. I don't know if I have any audio, but hopefully we have audio back. So I'm showing from my end audio. This is the third time now that this little bug, which I never call anything a bug that's unusual. This little bug where you can't hear me, hopefully you can hear me now since I actually went out and then I came back in. But that little bug feature is not a feature. Just it's not a feature. All right, there's a reason. Like I said, there's always a reason. It's what we live with. It's what we're doing out here. Hold on. Where's the what did I want? Oh yeah, I know what I want. Good luck, Americans. Number 3. That's what I want. Okay. Own. Let's go. Okay. I had to do some cleanup. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you can hear me. All right. We'll find out. I guess. Can anybody hear me? Put in the chat room because I wasn't being able to be heard for a minute. Let me go look. No audio, no sound. Didn't have audio or sound. You were muted for about 10 minutes. Now you're back. Yeah, I had to go completely out of the software, then come back in. Crazy. Thank you so much for being here, EV Place. Now, I'm not going to be on here much longer, an hour and 24 minutes. Oh, really? Okay. Let's go. Now, let's get back to the business at hand because I was going off because we had some stuff about dynamic pricing is what I call it. The federal government is trying to go after people because they used AI to make dynamic pricing. In case you don't know what dynamic pricing is, that's when you have price fluctuations due to demand. You guys might realize when there's car rentals, when there's airlines, when there's a concert in town, that's dynamic pricing, right? Hotel rooms boost up their prices. Ticket prices start going higher if there's more demand. That's dynamic pricing. That could be done by AI. But now the U.S. Third Circuit Court says they're going to listen to the case. I'm only mad from one standpoint. The car rental agencies, the hotel rooms, the hotel industry, the airline industry, the whole travel industry does this. They do dynamic pricing. Higher demand, higher prices. Lower demand, lower prices. Now all of a sudden, you're going off the rails over this company who's not even a major player in price fixing or gouging or whatever you want to call it. I'm looking like, well, wake me up when you mess around with Google, Meta, Nvidia, and all these guys who have several companies that's tied together and they fix everything. They fix the prices. They actually collude together to fix the prices. I'm like, what? Let's go with the big boys. I don't want to go with this no-name people that I never heard of. And dynamic pricing is already a thing. You can go to a grocery store right now in certain states and around the world that has electronic pricing. They take off those tabs that they used to keep there and they go by demand. So when they have a run on some products, they raise the price. It automatically does it. That's already a thing. You're not stopping them guys from doing it. That's what my whole problem is. You got to go after the big boys. Then come talk to me. Messing around with people that are actually doing just what people that are making billions of dollars are doing. You're going after somebody that's making a living doing something. That's what I don't like. You're trying, you must, like I said, the government must be after them for some unknown reason. And that's what I don't like. You got to know where you live, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we deal with. I've dealt with it. You're kicking some big company's ass. What do? They call up their DOJ buddies. They call up their state officials. They call up their whoever they can, change the laws. They do all this crap behind the scenes. Americans are oblivious because you're doing your 40-hour work week, which, by the way, that's not ownership. You're renting your time when you work 40 hours a week for somebody else. Just remember that. All right? By the way, in case you don't understand about owning your time and why that's less stressful, the point is this. They actually did a study. A study. That's right. Let me go back. 1900. Okay? In 1900, a person could work 6, 7 days a week, 12-hour days, and not only that, guess who was your competition? 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, kids would work 10, 12 hours a day. It was legal. Think about that. Not in school. Working. Have you guys ever went down to the coal mines and seen what the little coal carts are? But not the coal carts, the human carts. They're only like 4 feet, 4 feet high. Guess who could fit in those? Kids. That's right. That's what we used to do in America. They weren't home studying. They weren't going to school. They were out there making the little kibbles and bits. 10, 12 hours a day. 14 hours a day. So now, Henry Ford and a few of his cronies, they get a study. They find out the happy medium to make a person come back to work was 40 hours. Think about this. Scientifically, it's 40 hours. You make enough money to buy products, but you don't make enough money to stop working. 40 hours. You have X amount of time to eat, X amount of time to sleep. Then you'll be back the next day because we're not going to be paying you 10x whatever the normal wage is. So we're going to make sure that we're paying you just enough so you can survive. And survive better than normal, not just, barely surviving like 80% of the people in America right now, but where you actually have comfortable, you have a little bit of extra money in your pocket. But they know you have to come back because 40 hours is the key. 8 hours you have to sleep. Or 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours you should be sleeping, right? So therefore, if they have you working 8, then you got to sleep for 6. They know you're going to get home and eat, shower baby, play with the kid. So that, therefore, they're going to give you an hour transportation to and from, 2 hours after that. So let's just say 5 p.m. you get off, 1 hour, get home, get some food. It's now 7 o'clock. Talk with the fam. Or if you didn't at the table, talk with the fam. Watch a little, listen to the radio at the time to catch up on news because there was no TV. And well, there was during the 1920s, but nonetheless, radio time, TV comes in. Now you're going to watch TV, catch up on the news, watch whatever. And all of a sudden, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock. Oh my goodness. I got to get up to get to work in the morning. Hold on. I got to get some sleep. So now you're in sleeping around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Sleep your 6, 7, 8 hours. You wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. You got to be back to work. Get yourself a little bit of breakfast. Get your clothes all. Well, they didn't have many clothes back then. Get your clothes on. Got to walk, ride a horse, buggy, whatever to get to work. Hey, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard out here. It's real in the field. They have this actually timed. That's why the 40-hour week is a thing. They actually have it timed. And that's why they have it timed. They also know what happens when they say overtime. And they already know 50% of your overtime goes to taxes. So even though you're working overtime, making the extra money, is it really extra money? Yeah, it is, but I mean, damn. Taking all that tax out is crazy. All right. So just remember ownership, ladies and gentlemen. You got to own everything from now on. This is going to help you out. The other things, you have to protect what you own. Because ownership of your supply chains, ownership of your whole business operations, all of that is fine and dandy. But you're going to have to own more than just one thing. You're going to have to own many pieces to how your business operates. Otherwise, you're going to be liable for certain situations. Just like if gas goes up in price, you don't own a gas company. So you're going to pay higher gas, right? Even though your corporation's going to pay higher gas, even if you own the oil and gas company. But the fact of the matter is, what else is going to happen? You would just be like, well, my cost is whatever the cost is. We can go with that. But on the retail side, hold on, we got to raise prices. Big difference. But if you had that in your repertoire where now you don't have to pay extra for your transportation, you cut out the middleman. That goes a long, long way. All right, DIM pals, another investor is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening. Consistency is the key to building wealth. He's exactly right about that. If we're talking about wealth, ladies and gentlemen, that's a whole different ball game. That takes years. You have to be consistent to build wealth. He's right about that. That's for sure. And the consistency part is when it's rain, shine, or other. When you feel good, you don't feel good, or you're sick. When you're working, not working, you better figure something out still. But wealth, if you have it, means even if you're not working, you have money coming in. That's our asset. Those are assets. Those are ownership parts. So those all go together and ultimately you build wealth because of it. That's why ownership matters, because you build wealth. Do you know I'm listening to some music guys and they made some hit songs in the 70s and 80s. These guys, because of streaming, because of the Sirius XM radio channels, because they still get called to do concerts, these guys are getting checks because they own the music for 200 and some $1,000 because it's in rotation still because they were hit songs on Sirius XM channels. There's multiple channels. These guys are getting like $200,000 every year from 1970 hit songs. This is each one. And they're still getting called to do concerts where they still get to go and get $75,000, $50,000. That's ownership on steroids. This is crazy. This is exactly the thing for everything. Remember, I held up the book on Monday. That's my brother's book, Duran Drake, Star Cruiser Falcon. And remember, your ownership can transfer things to other family members or whoever you want to transfer it to under your trust. That's all I'm saying. Trust. I'm not a financial advisor, but the point is, or an estate planner, but the point is, you guys can study now. Just go down the path. All right, DIM pals. Very nice to see you once again. I'm going to wrap this up here shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Just make sure you smash that like button so the YouTube guys know you're in the house. Go over to see Mr. Compensation. Go show some love. Subscribe to his channel. Click the all notification bell there. Come back no matter where you're at. Hit that like, hit that star, hit the heart, hit the square boxes. No matter what you do to show some love, because you know they don't like you guys knowing all this stuff. It's not that hard in reality. They have you as us in a matrix. The matrix is you have bills to pay. The matrix is you have to go to work. The matrix is you don't have free time to actually do something. Well, the matrix is about to change because you do have AI. I'm just saying. I don't. You're going to have to understand. You're going to have to deal with AI to expedite things in some capacity. Just saying. That doesn't mean you have to use it for everything. But if you want to copyright something, you're the one that's going to have to write stuff down. Type it down. It can't be AI because AI means somebody can steal your stuff. Whatever. That's not ownership. Just because you made it with AI, that's not ownership. The only way you make something with AI and it's ownership, there's a few ways it's going to come out. I'm going to tell you right now. Anything that somebody copyrights or you own, what's going to end up happening is it'll be allowed to be used for AI, but you're going to have to get it licensed. You're going to have to pay a license fee. Or basically give money up. If you don't want to license it, then you're going to have to pay them. They'll say something. Let's just give you an example. They'll say, okay, I'll let you use it. You can pay me $5,000 for an annual license. That's going to be one choice. Or you can pay me $20,000 and that'll give you use permanently. I mean, and then I'll throw in some other stuff. I'll be like, well, and you got to give me a fee, a licensing fee every year, 5% off your gross. I mean, that's generally why it's going to go this route, because if you own something and people need it, you can dictate terms. That's how this works. So that's why I say ownership is going to matter on all kind of fronts. Technology, you better own it. You better own whatever you're doing that somebody else doesn't do. You better figure out a way how you can monetize it at this point, because the rich people are going down the line. They're going with the high stuff first. Film, music, TV, studios to produce it. That's why these things are going for premiums, because that means they have ownership and they own the rights. As long as you own the rights, that means if somebody needs to use your stuff, you dictate to them what the terms are. You're going to get paid. That's how this is going. And it's consolidated. There's not that many people that's going to be able to buy up the world. There's like 12 people that can buy up the world. They can get all the necessary assets, and that's why they always go for, why do you think the rich guys bought news stations? Then why do you think the rich guys bought TV stations? Why do you think the rich guys buy studios? You see where this goes, right? They're just going down the line. So then that way they can own everything. And so the only way that anything happens is you got to be on the outside looking in, tapping on the window, and going, hey, I need your services. And that's when they're going to tell you what the price is. That's how they're going to make it, right? So think about that setup right there going into Friday, all right? I'm going to end this. I'm not going to be on much longer, but I just want you guys to understand this is going to be big time. This is millionaires and billionaires are being made as we speak, as you're watching this, because people have ideas. They're implementing them using artificial intelligence. This is true. And they might be not using that. They might just be geniuses of some sort. But either way, they're figuring out the pipeline, how they're going to be able to control the majority of whatever they have to do. And therefore, they own it. And so now the offshoot of owning it means you can also license it, lease it, and do business with other people. Somebody said something today that was very interesting. He was talking about music. And he says, distribution never goes away. I was like, hold up. What are you talking about right now? I'm about to learn something. Don't talk like this, because you can have a company as a distribution company. And so I'm like, what do you mean forever? Because there's no forever. There's only certain things that I know about that could be forever in this industry. So when he said that, I was like, oh, hold up. Maybe I'm about to learn something new today. He did respond to me, but I got to go check it out. We're going to find out. But that also, I'm doing a study right now, just so you guys understand. Remember, we're going to kick their ass. Don't worry. That's still on the table. We're going to kick their ass. But the point is, I still have something to learn about, which is great, because this is something that I'm going to use. That's all I'm going to say. Remember all these distribution centers that's all over the place? These warehouse distribution centers, remember, that's a thing. And then it's still going to be a thing because they're going to have robots come to pick up stuff and move it around. So those guys are still going to win. So think about that. They own the distribution center. Ownership. And whether a person's pulling in the truck or whether it's automated, the people that's loading may not be people. It could be a machine as well, picking stuff off the stacks. The forklifts. The forklifts doesn't have to be a human driving it. They could go picking up product, putting it in the back of the trailer. All good. See, this is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. So if you own the distribution center, the warehouse, let me know what you guys think. Come on now. Now, I'm not saying anybody can just do this, because that's not going to be relatively cheap, is it? So again, the rich guys have an advantage. And this is what they get to do. They get to just go down the line. Let me go get myself a distribution center. Nothing's going to happen there, whether you have man driving or automated or robot driving. It doesn't matter, because where else are you going to put items? That's locked in, right? You can't really do anything. It's locked. When you do transportation industries, people have to put their stuff in a warehouse to do transportation. And when you want to do transportation hubs, everybody's got to come pick it up. Everybody drops it off. You got business. Just saying. That's one way to look at it. But this guy was talking about a different business for distribution. I was just talking about that. But this guy, I was like, he was talking about music. So I was like, oh, what? Hold up. Hold on. Is there another stream of revenue that I don't know about? Because I'm like, hold on. This could be major. You're messing around in the pool. All right. Hold on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've had a fun time this night. I love you guys very much, but it's time for me to go. Hour and 45 minutes. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here and listening to me. The comment section is always open. So even after the live streams, you can come on YouTube and several other places, but on YouTube specifically, if you want to see the comment section, then you can always tap on the first comment, the live comment section. You can always tap, because I have links in the live section, right? That can help you out. Findhelp.org, since you lasted all this time. Findhelp.org. 8 out of 10 of you need some help. Go see if some nonprofit can help you. If you see something there, make sure you call. Not everything's free, but some of them are. And these things can help you out, American citizens. Make sure you put in the zip code. You can just look, and then you'll see all kind of things that can help you out. Courtesy of Matthew Lesko, the late night genius, 50 years with the question mark on his suits, the frizzy hair. That's him. He was here about a year and a half ago, and he said findhelp.org, and I was like, I've been helping people for the last 40 years. I never heard nobody tell me findhelp.org. That's a big gem. So go out there, show some love. Go to Let's Go Helps if you want to join the crowd. They got like 40,000 people. They help you get government grants. You join their membership. Join the membership for $50, $60. Don't pay the $20 per month. All right, $50 a year. All right, go in there, ask questions, find out. You need some help. You're in a state. You say, "Hey, I'm in this state. I'm sitting there going, hey, I'm in this state. I need some help with X, Y, and Z. Does anybody know about grants?" Probably in 15 to 20 minutes, there'll be people that send you information. That's what they do over there at LESKO help.com. Let's go. L as in Larry, E as in Eric, S as in Sam, K as in kid, O as in Oscar, HELP as in Paul.com. And he has a new AI thing too. But again, I'm just telling you, go over there, show some love if you want to sign up. You can't sign up for free. You got to sign up and pay. But you don't have to pay at findhelp.org. And that was his gem. If you need mental health, 211 on your phone, 211.org on your any computer, desktop, laptop, tablet. You can go there. And people answer. Even late night, because we were on late night at 10 p.m. at night. He said, oh, they're going to answer. I said, okay, you're talking mess. Let's just test this out. So I did a live phone call on the live stream. It was a lot of fun. So that helps you out, I hope. But remember, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but guess what? It's going to get harder. That's right. I got bad news for you. It's going to get harder. Lack of a lot of things, mainly livable wage jobs, are coming down. It costs way more. So livable wage jobs are disappearing more. And 8 out of 10 people living paycheck to paycheck is where we were at a year ago. I think that number's probably going to be higher if I can get those stats. I'd be willing to bet you it's going to be 83 to 85%. Canada's 85% of their population is living paycheck to paycheck. Do you understand? This is a meltdown on epic proportions. Since we're at the top, the only way you can go is down. Other countries who are traditionally at the bottom, they grow. That means they get to come up. But being at the top and going down is not a good thing. That's the Roman Empire, by the way. Just so you understand. And what happened to the Roman Empire? Just saying. Ownership. To pass down some things. That's what you're going to need. Just keep that in mind. All right. I'm wrapping it up. Just make sure you're safe out here. You never know who's going through what. And there's a reason people act crazy. But just make sure, no matter what you do, keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.